the idea of being opportunistic and preparedness to be able to execute when opportunity presents itself, to me kind of frames up as it's no different. It's no different than anything else in business or life, for that matter. If I'm thinking about how I get the best outcomes as a business person, would I rather be accidental, or would I rather be purposeful or intentional? To get to a certain outcome, would I rather be reactionary, or would I prefer to be proactive and have a plan? And I think when we think about how do I act, or how do I what do I do if the phone rings and I'm approached with an offer, or the phone rings, or I'm told that there may be an opportunity to buy my most significant competitor. I'm going to get to a better outcome if I've thought about what I need to do, what I can do, what I will do in reaction to that circumstance or that opportunity. I've used this analogy with mid-sized businesses and privately owned or manager-owned companies as one sometimes struggles with. Okay, how do I position myself for a buyer? We can all we can read the books. We can hire the consultants, and I help people with this. Okay, what are the 10 things I need to do to get ready for a sale? But one way to simplify it is, simply to start viewing your company as a shareholder. So many companies, and there's nothing wrong with this, I use a terminology lifestyle businesses. Nothing bad about that, but it pays the bills, and I've got my tickets, I've got my Cavs tickets over here, and I've got the car lease payments made, and I make a good living, and I take certain care of certain family members who are in the business and specific employees, and this business has treated me very well over time, and I don't always worry about or think about certain things in the sense of detail, or how somebody on the outside might view that business, nor do I really need to. Well, now it's time to sell, and I need a cleaner, clearer picture of what the potential of this business is, and what type of financial return it ultimately can generate for the buyer. One way to process that that view, or that how that transition of view might be is, okay, if I just start today looking every month at my business as if I'm a shareholder, not the owner, suddenly things like transparency and the quality of information becomes more important to me. Understanding what a business's strategy is, and what processes underlying ensure, and operating rhythms ensure that we get outcomes, and we're driving financial trajectory. Are more clear to me. A more conscious attention to what the actual financial performance and trajectory of the business is becomes more relevant. If I sit on the other side of the table and view my business as a shareholder versus the source of my lifestyle. You need to approach, as it relates to being prepared and the thoughtfulness that you put into a transaction. You need to think of it as the biggest sale you'll ever make. And the same could apply, and we use a similar analogy when somebody's buying a company. I want to be selected on the most attractive terms as the buyer. That's the biggest sale I may make in the history of my company. Do we walk into a meeting with our largest customer unprepared? Now, or to our most significant prospect relative to potential to transform our business? Now we've thought about it, we planned, we've thought about what's important to both parties on either side of the table. We've thought about the points that we can give on and the ones that we can't budge on, the things that are sacred to us. We've thought about potential objections and obstacles. We've thought about how we'll execute. We've thought about the value that'll be exchanged, and it strikes me, I've seen people walk in an opportunistic way to discussions about selling their companies that are far less prepared for the conversation than they would be if they were walking into a meeting with their most significant customer.